Before anything reaches the table, it has to survive the fire. Today is about testing glazes and seeing if I can truly capture the look of Byzantine Sgraffito for my Harn feastware. At the back of my studio, behind this door, is something special. A space where stories aren't just told, they're lived. Welcome to Pernicky Ricks, the ultimate guide to crafting spaces that don't just tell stories, they immerse you in them. So today I'm going to experiment with these glazes on my test pieces. I need to get a better idea of how to proceed in mimicking the look of Byzantine Sgraffito pottery. I'm making this feastware for my players and myself. I'm also hoping to have a couple of these to give away at HârnWorld in Kansas City in late April. The Game Theater in a Box will be making its debut there as well, and I'll be using it while I GM. The bowl designs feature HârnWorld Sava Canor religious figures. One references Saint Erevel of Tharel and the other the Apple Tree of Arlan. Both are significant to Maryael Abbey and the session I'm running at HârnWorld. How many I'll ultimately have to give away will depend at least in part on the outcome of this test firing. I have three approaches in mind. The first is to use a watered down underglaze beneath a clear glaze finish, which I suspect is how this might have been done if medieval potters had access to modern finishes we have today. The other two will use colored glazes beneath a clear glaze. That method is closer to an authentic finish, and I'll apply it in two different thicknesses to see which produces the best results. So let's get this knocked out and into the kiln. So I'm going to start with the underglaze on one of the apple tree bowls. We'll do the brown first. Now I'll do the green. This is still with the underglaze. Just kind of roughly filling in the spaces like they do on the historic ones. Now we'll switch to the actual glaze. We'll do the other apple tree bowl in a similar fashion. On this one, I'm only going to put on one coat. Just like with the underglaze bowl, I'm just going to sort of roughly fill in the areas like they did on the originals. Now we'll switch to green. And now the final bowl. On this one I'll put on 2 coats of glaze. We'll do the green first, and then the brown. Now I'll coat all three with clear glaze on both sides, being careful not to cover the foot so it doesn't stick to the kiln. Okay, that is all the glaze and the clear 3 coats of clear coat on the whole thing. So now let's let that dry, and tomorrow we'll put it in the kiln. Okay, well, things didn't go quite as well as I'd hoped. That happens sometimes, especially with ceramics. Here are the results of the kiln firing. The bowl with the underglaze and clear glaze finish came out closest to the historic examples. Unfortunately, I'm not happy with the colors. The other two, which used color glaze with a clear glaze over the top, produced colors that I liked better, but they came out far too faint and faded. All three pieces also developed hairline cracks from thermal shock, probably from cooling too quickly. Since they're no good as finished pieces anyway, I'll refire them and add a bit more colored glaze to the two faded bowls. Hopefully that will refuse the surface and get rid of that checking. I'll also load them down lower in the kiln, so this time they'll cool more slowly. I'll have Allison throw a few more bowls and we'll try this again in a couple of weeks, so keep an eye out for that. If you've enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on future episodes. Your support helps the channel grow and keeps the ideas flowing. And be sure to share the channel with your friends. So until next time, keep dreaming big and may your stories always have the spaces they deserve.